Well, you're definitely the only person that I'm telling this to, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm sure my mom would be happy, but after everything that happened with my nephew and the stuff that happened with me before it, I don't think that I can have children. I don't think I can raise a child after everything that happened. Maybe we don't talk about this right now. I don't really want to talk about it. All right, we don't have to talk about it. I just wanted to make sure that was put out there up front. We just got married. Yeah, I know we just got married. Well aware. I had a wedding too. Why are you upset? I'm upset because I only have one wedding day. And now my wedding day will forever be overshadowed by what happened to your nephew. When anyone thinks about our wedding, it's just gonna remind them of what happened to him. It's bad enough that you had to have your sister-in-law's internet show film us, but now this. Well, I'm sorry this happened to my nephew. Obviously, no one wanted this to happen, and the killer is still out there. Don't you think that's a little insensitive of you? I'm not trying to be insensitive to what happened to your nephew, not at all. I'm sad too. I'm just also sad that I only get one wedding, and now this one has an asterisk next to it. Do you get it? I understand you only get one wedding, but the day itself, we didn't find out till way after. The wedding went fine. We had a great wedding. It's just disappointing. And then you sit here and you tell me that you don't want kids ever, and you cement that in the ground. I don't know. I'm just disappointed that my wedding has to always come with this dark cloud now. I know that we wanted an unorthodox wedding and do it our way, but never did I think now we're associated with a news story. We're like a beautiful house that got haunted because of a murder inside. I don't know. I don't mean to be insensitive. We can have vowel renewals. We can redo a wedding, but there's no bringing back my nephew. No, but then also, it is disheartening, and it sucks to hear that you dictate whether or not we have children. Now, because of what happened to your nephew, whether I was 50-50 or not, you telling me outright that you don't want kids, no matter what door you close, closing a door sucks. Having a door closed in your face sucks, especially after having your wedding essentially ruined. I already told you before we got married that I was on the fence about having children. You sounded the same way. So why all of a sudden, when I firmly tell you that it's off the table now, you're upset with me? I know, but I have come around to the idea of having a baby of our own one day. After the wedding, it was before everything happened, it was a magical experience. I had a great time with you. You understand that for us, it's going to be a lot more difficult. And what happened with my nephew, I don't even, if I have to go through IVF or you do, or, that process is difficult. And if we hit failures, it's just going to take a toll on my mental health. Well, all of this just does a number on my mental health. The excitement of a wedding and then having it turned so dark, and now you're sitting here telling me about us having children. I don't know, it's just a lot to handle when this was supposed to be one of the best times of my life. We had such a nice romantic love story going, and now it's tainted forever. I didn't want our wedding day to affect your mental health like that. I, again, wish that I could bring my nephew back. My nephew is dead. He's a little kid. Don't you have any remorse? I know. I'm not taking away from that. I'm not trying to be insensitive to it. I'm not. I am sad too. I didn't know your nephew, but it's still a heartbreaking thing to deal with. but I think I'm allowed to feel upset about how it affected my wedding day. Did you really want to marry me, or when you chickened out, did you actually just, was that your real decision? Because the way you're talking, it just seems like you're 100% unhappy. And I'm the one that should be trying to force happiness. I'm the one that lost a nephew. I did want to marry you. Yes, I got cold feet, but I did. It's just hard to marry someone and then days later they're telling me they don't want to have kids ever. So yeah, I'm gonna fly off a little bit. Okay, I get it. It is a little harsh to throw that out randomly, but I guess it's just the period of time we're in. I'm not saying that's final. Okay, well, you also have to consider that, like, I can't just sit around and wait for you to feel comfortable with something or this and that, because if we're doing the process that we have to do, whether it's IVF, IUI, we're also going to be doing that in our 30s. So it's going to be harder, so that I have to take that into consideration too. I know you're going through something and you have your own mental health, but I married you with the intention of seeing a bunch of open doors. I didn't marry you to have doors firmly closed in my face. Like, I don't want to sit here and have you tell me that I can never have children. You know, I thought this was supposed to be a marriage where we communicate and talk about these things, not just tell each other how it's going to be based off of our own mental health problems. So I have mental health problems because of your brother, but I'm not throwing that in your face. Well, you know pressuring me is not going to work. And we just got married, so I don't want to have a child this soon after getting married to you. I'm not saying it has to be tomorrow. I'm just talking to you about the idea of closing a door in my face. That you don't lock someone into marriage and then start telling them what they can and cannot do. That it's very limiting. You know, you may be going through the death of your nephew, and I'm so sorry for that, but I'm also the newly wedded woman who has to deal with her fiance dealing with what happened to her nephew. And it's hard. It's very hard.
Hello? Feel free to hang up if you want. I understand I'm probably the last human being you want to speak to right now. But as a human being, I didn't get to say this to you at the funeral because of just the nature of the beast. But I wanted to extend my sympathies for the loss of your son. I can't imagine what you're going through. And despite everything that you and I have been through, still as a human being, I want you to know sorry you're going through what you're going through.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I also want you to know that when I was in Miranda's life, but more importantly, when I was in Junior's life, it's his stepfather, it was never my intent to try to be his actual father in any way. And I never tried to replace you or anything like that. I always wanted to respect your boundaries as a father. And even I could see that no matter how present I was in Junior's life, he still knew you to be his father. I don't know if Miranda tells you those things, but that's what I saw.
Well, I don't mean to be a jerk, but I'm sure you take some satisfaction in the fact that now, forever moving forward, me and Miranda, we have no tie to one another. There's nothing keeping us in each other's lives at all. She has no connection to my family whatsoever anymore. So you can sleep at night knowing that, I guess. This is what you wanted, right?
You can say that, but this is not the outcome I would have wanted. I don't take any joy in the fact that you have no relationship with Miranda in that way anymore. The loss of your son is tragic. But also, I have a girlfriend. We're in a steady, healthy relationship, and I have no desire to be with Miranda right now.
Well, you're the one that still has a daughter with her. You still have a connection to her. So now she's, free to date. Whatever you want to do now.
Just because we share a daughter, that doesn't mean that I'm obligated to be her partner. I've moved on, and I hope she can find a way to do that too. I hope you can find a way to do that too. But talking about sharing our daughter, I also called you because I haven't heard from Miranda, and I'm concerned about her.
Oh, is that why you calling me though? For real? Just because you wanted to see if I've spoken to Miranda? If I had contact with her in any way, that's why you called?
No, I genuinely called you to extend my sympathies. For these few minutes right here on this phone call, we're not enemies. We're just two human beings, and I'm extending my sympathies to you. I mean that. I grew up in a church family. I'm not a bad person despite what you may think. I don't know if I can say the same about you, but I wish I could. I'm concerned about Miranda, and I wanted to know if you've heard from her.
Alright, well dude, I haven't heard from her at all. I haven't seen her or heard from her since the funeral. And even at the funeral we didn't really talk.
Did you try reaching out to her?
Yeah. I've left her text message after text message after voicemail, call, voicemail, nothing.
Well, if she happens to call you back before anybody else, please tell her that I'd like to talk to her, and that we have to figure out what we're doing with Charlotte. As much as I like being with her 24/7, I can't be with my child wondering whether or not I'm not going to be with her again in any form.
Yeah, I don't really think she'd be contacting me first. I don't think she wants anything to do with me, even though we just lost the one thing we had in common. I think she would honestly reach out to you first, so.
I don't know about that. I think out of you and me, she loved you more. She still loves you more, I think.
Can I just say something? Between you and me. You have to understand why, I have a disdain for you. I married Miranda. We had a life together. We had a son together. And it just felt like the second that door was open for someone to sweep her off her feet, you took an opportunity while I was down, while our marriage was down. There was no reason for you to be with her. There was no reason for you to have a daughter with her. I wanted to work things out with her. Some people would say that the book was closed between me and her, but no. I was going to fight for her even further, and you just stepped up and stepped in, and of course I'm not going to like you. Of course I'm not going to want to be friends with you. You took everything from me. I don't know how people can villainize me and make you out to be the hero half the time.
I would have sympathy for you in having to deal with seeing your ex-wife be with another man. But I don't, simply because all of the problems that were in your marriage were caused by you. You were the one that let her get away. So how can I feel bad for you? I simply saw her walking through this world alone, and I took that opportunity to love her. It's not a crime on my end, but there's plenty of crime on yours.
What does it matter now anyway? What does all of it matter now? It's like I said, I have no connection to her whatsoever anymore. No reason for me to be in her life. No reason for me to have a custody agreement or pay child support or anything. You're the one that has a daughter with her. So, I guess you win, right? You still have your kid.
Well, what's having a daughter with someone when that someone lost their son? What kind of state is Miranda's soul in right now? And forever will be, I don't know. Nice talking to you, man. Melissa, what are you doing in the kitchen?
Yeah. Is this actually still called the kitchen? Because half the time it feels like the main stage.
Nah, but really, what are you doing? You cooking? Because I smell food.
Well, your nose isn't lying to you. I'm making you brujol. I'm making you dinner.
Melissa, every night since you've been here, I've been making my own food. Or I've been ordering out. Why are you making me dinner? I don't really think it's like appropriate. We shouldn't be making each other dinner. You're staying in my house and that's it, you know? Like if I had like a dude friend, like if Damien stayed over, right? I wouldn't be making him brujol. I just wouldn't be.
Listen, you've gone through something tough, and I think you should have like a home-cooked meal. But also, like, come on. You wouldn't cook dinner for Damien, and Damien wouldn't cook dinner for you. That's a little sexist, a little, like, phobic.
Melissa, you get what I'm saying. Like, friends don't... I don't know. Like, I know you're not making dinner for me in, like, a friendly way, I guess. You're trying to do it in, like, a romantic way, and I don't want you to make me dinner like that.
Well, I can admit I'm not making you dinner in like a friendly way because I feel like I'm more than a friend to you. I care about you. We have a different relationship than just friends. I'm not saying we're together, but I do love you deeply and I do care about you, and you've been through a lot. You lost... Don't need to say it out loud, but Joey, when was the last time that you legitimately had a home-cooked meal?
I probably had a home-cooked meal last year, whenever it was that I was still with Miranda. But that doesn't matter. I'm a grown man. I'll make my own meals, you know?
Yeah, I've seen your meals, Joey. I've seen you make food for yourself, and it's literally anything that you can get from 7-Eleven, or you're sitting here eating hot dogs and Chef Boyardee. Like, that's not... You're gonna decompose while you're alive if you eat like that.
I eat Chef Boyardee still because that's what my Uncle Jimmy used to eat, so there's no shame in Chef Boyardee.
Alright, well, what I'm trying to say, baby, is that...
Don't call me baby. At all. We're not there. We're never gonna be there.
Okay, Joey. What I'm trying to say is, you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot of trauma. Even before the trauma, you've been through a divorce. You've been through job changes. You've been through the stuff with your mom. You've been through a rocky relationship with your sister. You've... custody battles, hating Brian, all of it. Trauma with your son, not seeing him, all of it. Like, you deserve more than a can of Chef Boyardee and a soubrette hot dog. You deserve a home-cooked meal, and that's all I'm trying to do for you. I'm just trying to care for you, because right now you're going through it, and there's no one else here to care for you. Just because you're a full-grown man doesn't mean that you don't deserve love. You've redeemed yourself so much, Joey. You've worked on yourself, and now you have nothing to show for it but a tattoo career. You have no one to share any of your successes with, but you deserve to. You're more than just a tattoo boy. Do you get what I'm saying?
Look, of course I want to sit here and eat that. I'd love to have some brujol. I would. I'm starving. It's hard at the tattoo shop. I would love to have a civil dinner with you. It's not that. It's... If I eat your food and we have that civil dinner and we sit down at a table together, bro, that's leading you on. I know you. Tomorrow, the day after, whenever you want to bring up the conversation of us being together again, you're going to say, hey, I made you dinner, and we had a nice dinner, and I thought you wanted more, and this, I don't want to lead you on in any way.
Okay, well, Joey, just as you have worked on yourself and overcame a lot, from your mental health to your addictions to everything in between, so have I. I too went to jail. I too did community service. I too went to therapists and dealt with all of that crap. And I've worked on myself. So I deserve a nice life too. I don't deserve to just be some sort of pillow here in the house while you grieve. If I'm gonna be here and care for you, you have to treat me like a human being because I deserve that. I've redeemed myself too. You're not just gonna treat me like a shoulder to lean on. At least treat me like a little bit more. I'm not saying I have to be your girlfriend, but treat me like the person that I am. Because I have continued to treat you with respect. I saved you from your sister's wedding. Alright. We can have dinner together. I'll eat your dinner. You didn't spike it with Jack Daniels or nothing, right? No tequila in your brajol, right? I'm not gonna like pass out after dinner. Ha 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 ha, so funny. No. I didn't. I wouldn't spike you. Said that a million times. I'm not gonna poison your food. Like, I want you awake. I like actually talking to you. I want to see you eat the food and enjoy it. Don't be a smartass. But I also don't want you to turn around and use this against me. Like, I have no problem being friendly with you. You do take my mind off things. Like, you are fun to be around. But I don't want you to misinterpret my behavior. Do you understand? I'm not trying to use you in any way. But I also don't want to lead you on. That's it. There were some kind words in that last little monologue that you just spouted off. I'll take it. I'm not going to use anything against you. I just want you to eat my home-cooked meal. Because it took me a long time to learn it. And I got the idea from Everybody Loves Raymond. Alright. What is brajol?